This is the define the era moment we have been screaming for, and frankly, my heart is pounding just thinking about the implications. We are staring down the barrel of a massive playoff showdown in Foxboro, and the tension surrounding this franchise has never been thicker. The Los Angeles Chargers have a golden opportunity to exorcise 7 years of demons in a single night, but only if the coaching staff wakes up and the roster gambles pay off right now. Before we dive deep into the locker room shifts and the Greg Roman controversy that has us all on edge, do me a massive favor, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a beat of this playoff run. Let's get real for a second. We need to have an honest, uncomfortable conversation about the offense. Specifically, we need to talk about Greg Roman. I know, we've been circling this wagon for weeks, but something happened recently that just rubbed me the wrong way, and I know a lot of you felt it too. We finally saw a change at the center position. After watching Bradley Bozeman struggle, we finally saw Andre James step in. He came over from the Raiders, and while he wasn't a Hall of Famer out there against the Broncos, he was serviceable. He was an upgrade. It was a move that screamed, "We are trying to fix this." But when the media asked Greg Roman about it, when they gave him the chance to praise the depth or acknowledge the adjustment, what did we get? He brushed it off. He said, "Last week's game doesn't matter anymore, really, Greg?" That is the answer. Instead of instilling confidence, instead of saying, "I loved what I saw from James, and we're building on that," we get a dismissive non-answer. It's frustrating because Roman is already walking on thin ice with this fan base. We were skeptical when he was hired. We were worried about the lack of passing creativity. And comments like that? They don't help earn trust. So, here is the first question I need you to chew on. Do you think Greg Roman's dismissive attitude is a sign of focus, or is he feeling the pressure because he knows his scheme isn't maximizing Justin Herbert? This game against the Patriots is his last stand to prove us wrong. It is a golden opportunity for him to get creative. We aren't asking for miracles, we are asking for adaptation. Look at what Ben Johnson did with the Lions over the last few years. When they had an elite offensive line, they controlled the game. But even when things weren't perfect, the creativity bailed them out. A well-schemed screen, a misdirection play once a quarter that turns a 5-yard drag route into a 20-yard gain. That is what we are missing. We have Superman at quarterback in Justin Herbert. We know that. But imagine if we paired Superman with a scheme that actually tricked the defense instead of running straight into a wall? If Roman can't figure this out, if his stubbornness costs us a playoff game, then the conversation shifts from hot seat to vacant seat. It's that simple. Best case scenario? We win, the offense clicks, and we make a run. Worst case? We botch it, and the front office has to look at the incredible offensive minds out there, like a Mike McDaniel type or a rising coordinator, and make a change. And speaking of coaches moving around, we have to address the elephant in the room regarding our defense. Success has a price. When you build a culture and a unit that flies around the ball, other teams come calling. The rumors are swirling that our defensive coordinator, Jesse Minter, is looming large as a target for the Cleveland Browns head coaching job. It makes sense, doesn't it? It feels like one of those fits that just aligns. Minter comes from that Harbaugh tree, Jim, John, the Michigan connection, the Mike McDonald success in Seattle. The NFL loves this profile right now. It is bittersweet. We want our guys to succeed, but losing the architect of this defense would be a heavy blow. It's the cycle of the NFL, parity punishes the good teams by poaching their staff. But right now, Minter is here, and he has a job to finish. Now, let's pivot to the history we are trying to rewrite. To understand the weight of this Sunday night in Foxboro, you have to look at the scars this franchise carries. We are talking about a drought that goes back to January 6, 2019. That was the last time the Chargers won a playoff game. It was in Baltimore, against the Ravens. It feels like a lifetime ago. Justin Herbert was still at Oregon. Jim Harbaugh was still wearing the headset at Michigan. That day in 2019, we walked in as underdogs. Nobody gave us a shot against Lamar Jackson. But we dominated. We saw Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates, and a young Keenan Allen control the tempo. We saw a rookie Derwin James flying all over the field. We suffocated them. 7 sacks. 3 fumbles. It was a masterclass. But since that day, pain. 7 years without a postseason victory. 3 heartbreaking wild card eliminations. This Sunday, the script is eerily similar. We are heading into a hostile environment as 3.5-point underdogs against the second-best team in the AFC. The narrative is that we can't do it. But we have 2 guys from that 2019 squad, Keenan Allen and Derwin James, who are now the elder statesmen. They know what it takes to silence a stadium. They are the bridge between that victory and this new era. And frankly, with Jim Harbaugh now at the helm, the mindset is different. We aren't just happy to be here. We are here to conquer. But you can't win on nostalgia. You win with playmakers. And this brings me to the question of the day. I want to see your debates in the comments section on this one, so don't hold back. Question of the day: considering the salary cap space we have, would you give Odafe Oweh a massive long-term contract extension right now based on his 7.5 sack season, or do you need to see him dominate this specific playoff game against the Patriots before you open the checkbook? Let me tell you why this is such a massive debate. Odafe Oweh has been a revelation. We acquired him at the trade deadline from the Ravens, a move that had a lot of people scratching their heads. We gave up Alohi Gilman and a pick. People asked, did we win that trade? Well, look at the field. The Ravens missed the postseason. We are here. And Oweh has been a force, racking up 7.5 sacks and applying constant pressure. This isn't just about this season, it's about the future. Oweh is playing for a life-changing contract. Bleacher Report is already listing him as a top free agent for 2026. If he goes off in the playoffs, his price tag skyrockets. We have the cap space, projected to be significant, to make it happen. With Khalil Mack aging and Tuli Tuipulotu needing a running mate, locking down a prime pass rusher is priority number 1. But it's a gamble. Do you pay him based on potential, or do you pay him based on playoff production? Sunday night might give us that answer. Finally, we need to talk about the roster moves that just dropped hours before kickoff. These are the subtle adjustments that win or lose championships. The headlines might miss this, but you shouldn't. We just got a massive boost with the activation of tight end Tucker Fisk. He's been on injured reserve, but he's back. And this isn't just a depth piece, this is a legacy play. His father, Jason Fisk, played defensive tackle for the Chargers back in the early 2000s. Tucker gives us that grit in the blocking game, and remember, he had a crucial 15-yard reception in last year's wild card game. He knows the pressure. However, we took a hit at receiver. Keandre Lambert-Smith is heading to the injured list. That hurts. To compensate, the team promoted Dale Vaughn Campbell from the practice squad. This kid is interesting. He averaged 26 yards per reception in college at South Carolina last year. He is a deep threat waiting to happen. If Roman actually decides to take a shot downfield, Campbell could be the surprise X factor. We also brought up cornerback Isaiah Waxter. This is an undrafted guy from Villanova who has simply balled out at every level. He intercepted everything thrown his way in his final college season. It's a great story, but it also shows we are looking for spark plugs, guys who are hungry and have nothing to lose. So here is the reality: we have a 7-year drought. We have a quarterback in Justin Herbert who is statistically comparable to the best in the league but needs that signature postseason moment. We have a defense that is flying around but might lose its coordinator. And we have an offensive coordinator who needs to prove he hasn't been passed by the modern game. Everything converges in Foxboro. The best-case scenario is we shock the world, Herbert plays like the MVP we know he is, and we move on. The worst case is we crumble, and the off-season brings sweeping changes. But I'm betting on the Bolts. I'm betting on the talent. I want to know your pre-game rituals. How are you handling the stress? Are you watching live, or are you like me, starting an hour late so you can fast forward through the commercials and anxiety? Let me know in the comments what your setup looks like for this game. This is it, Chargers fans. One day closer. One game to change the narrative. We'll see you on the other side.